So while we are waiting for others to join, instead of a New Year's resolution, because I just, they never stick. They just don't. And it's just, then you feel like a failure or whatever. I decided this year that I am going to choose and think about 2 words that I want to embrace for 2021. Just 2 words. And so I thought a lot about
it. Can they be naughty?
What?
Can they be naughty?
No. And instead of a resolution, it's like, okay, what are 2 words that I want to incorporate in my everyday life? Just every day. And I can remember it, and it's going to be meaningful, and I wanted to abide by it. So I really had to stop and think of what those 2 words would be. So I encourage you to try that exercise yourself, and I will share with you my 2 words. The first one is joy. So I think sometimes we make deals with ourselves and think, if I do this and this and this, then I'm going to find joy by going on vacation in 3 weeks or in 6 months. Or if I stick to this, then I'm going to find joy and I'm going to reward myself by doing X, Y, Z. Well, that's all great. But then I think we have a tendency to miss the joy in every little thing in our lives all day long. And I am 100% guilty of that. And that's why I wanted to use the word joy for myself and think about the moment of joy, the day of joy. And I don't know if this resonates with anyone at all, but I am now more conscious of every little thing that brings joy to me, to be conscious of it, like little tiny things. And it mentally, I think too, with this pandemic, we kind of get in this rut. So for me, the word joy is something that I literally can see right now on the wall. Joy. Like I am all in, and I'm looking for it, and I'm celebrating it. The other word I chose, and it isn't a bad word either, Connie, it's movement. And so for me, I would have my times of working out and all of that, but then I felt like in the middle of those scheduled things, I wasn't moving as much as I should. And so now it's movement. So it's just a conscious of, when I'm walking my dog, I'm going to take that movement and just move a little bit more and enjoy it, and not have to be like, all right, I'm going to walk so many steps. No, it's like actually enjoying the movement just for movement's sake, because it's great. It feels good. So, or movement of, I need to move forward with this project. So I need to keep moving forward. So joy and movement. And I would like to know if anyone has any words or word that's going to resonate with them for 2021.
I am going to go with calm. Because when things happen, I am one that, with my strong personality, I can jump to conclusions and think of things that A, don't matter, B, is anybody going to die? And I always think about this with my husband when we're working on house projects, and he gets all upset because he doesn't have the right screw, let's say. And it's like, okay, and the whole swear words and the whole everything. Now I got to go to the hardware store again. And I'm like, calm down. Is anybody going to die? This is like a first world problem. There are so many things out there in the world that you can't control, and just calm down. Think about it a little bit, and it's really not that bad. And the same thing with real estate. There are things that pop up that will set you over the edge, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. I have something going on with a warranty that a couple of us missed, and it was a year ago, and it really should have been taken care of, and now we'll get into it. But if I would be jumping off the ledge, especially when the buyer called and said, well, I was supposed to have a warranty, blah, blah, blah. Calm down. It's okay. Let me look into it.
Yeah.
And that's been my response to everything lately is let me look into it. And then the person calling you will calm down. You can calm down and think through it a little bit and get your head on your shoulders.
Right. I like, so calm. Somebody
Calm.
wrote in consistency. I love that, being consistent, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Consistent. I
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Anybody else? You can shout it out or you can put it in your comments.
Simple for me, for sure, because I'll overthink one part of an idea and I'll be on that, third of an idea and lose time on the whole idea. So that's definitely like simple, like keep it simple. You know what I mean? Like that's the, simple as the one word, but keep it simple as like one
Yes.
mindset for sure.
Yep. That's great.
Mine is stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan.
To the plan. That's 4 words.
I know, but
Yep.
That's good. Consistency.
Yep. Katie Miller, steady. I like that one too. Keep it steady. Keep on a pace. Don't stop. It has to be steady. Katie, you want to expand on that a little bit? Come on into the party.
Yeah, I'll
There you go.
try. You're probably going to hear my dogs and my kid.
We
start
don't
screaming,
care.
But
We
just
love your dogs and kids.
so kind of going along with you, Connie and Grady, like just like staying steady, staying consistent, not getting ahead of the game, I get really emotional if things like don't go my way. I'm like, oh, well, that just ruined it. Like, so just keep steady and keep the pace and just keep going. Like, don't get my emotions too involved where I think I just totally failed or effed something up.
Yeah.
Yep. That's great.
Anybody else?
I would probably say sacrifice, to get things done today that'll benefit you in 90 days or whatever it may be.
And Benjamin, you are new.
I am.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. We're not going to let you get away with that.
Okay. Graduated from the University of Kansas, grew up here in Milwaukee, went to Nicolay High School, just joined Falk Reuben Gallagher, and I was working for a We Buy Ugly Houses franchise before that as a home buyer, working in southeastern Wisconsin. So that was definitely interesting.
Okay.
University, is that KU or that's different?
No, it is KU, Rock Chalk.
One of my best friends lives in Lawrence.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome place.
Yeah, her husband went to law school there. She went to college there. They lived in the North Shore, raised their kids, and then they couldn't wait to get back there and retire. And I think they live like their backyard is the university.
Oh, that's awesome.
She loves it. Well, cool. Congrats. Do we have any other newbies on today? I don't think so.
can I just say that, Benjamin, you have wonderful parents.
Thank you. I know she says hello.
I worked with your mom for a long time.
Yeah, she says hi. I mentioned that you were on the Zoom with us.
Oh, good.
That's neat. Anybody else have a word or two that and if you don't, I want you to think about that today. Honestly, Betsy is new. Betsy.
Hi.
Betsy, you can't get away with it, Betsy. Okay, Betsy, tell us about yourself.
I grew up in Tosa. Sorry, hang on.
Betsy, many of you.
Ooh.
A lot of echo. Went to University of Wisconsin, undergrad in law. I'm moving.
Hi, Betsy.
Yeah, and I live in Elm Grove. I own 2 fitness studios called The Barcode in Brookfield and in the 3rd Ward on Water Street.
Awesome. You've got a lot going on.
I think
Welcome.
Sarah's shaking her head. Sarah, do you guys know each other? Oh, ask to unmute. Let me.
I have to talk very quietly because my daughter is doing school. I taught Pure Bar, Betsy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I taught Pure Bar for 3 years.
In Elm Grove or Whitefish Bay?
Whitefish Bay.
So you know
Yeah.
Jess.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Nice
Small
to meet
world.
you.
Nice
Welcome,
to meet you.
welcome, new people. So Thursdays are really exciting, and we love to see everybody every Thursday, and every Thursday is different. But we do kind of have a platform for the first 90 days of productivity, and it's all about your database, and everyone has a database, whether it's past clients. If you don't have any, you've got friends, whether you know it or not. But that's one of the first things you need to do if you're brand new, is compile every contact that you have from your past business, your school directory, whatever it is, and put that in Command or whatever platform that you use, because we are going to be going off of you will be going and using your database every single day from here on out. And I'm taking this course, it's called Never Ending Referrals. And basically they say, and I truly believe it, if you stick to this program that we're going to roll out, you will have 1 to 2 extra transactions to your business every single month. So, hey, I'll take 1 extra. I'll take 12 extra transactions every year.
Yep.
Just by doing something extremely simple that you're going to do Monday through Friday. And every Monday, you're going to have a plan. You know exactly what it is, and you're going to follow it. And it's boring. It is boring. It's not going to be fun, but if you do it, it will pay off. And so I am challenging myself, and I'm going to challenge you with me, and both Connie, because we've not done this either. So we thought, hey, why not do this and then challenge the whole productivity program to do it with us? And then we're going to track our results.
Yep.
Are you on board?
I am. Anybody else?
I'll be on board.
Perfect.
So basically, you guys, what we need to do is, and we will share this with you, you are going to have a letter or 2 letters of the alphabet every single week. So for the first week, it's going to be A and W. And so we're going to talk to A and W's this week, then back in April, then next in July, and then next in October. So there's a complete plan. That's when you're contacting your A and W's 4 times a year. And then next week is going to be B's and E's. And it's the same thing. We're going to be talking to them April, July, and October. And we're going down the alphabet, and there's certain specific scripts that you're going to use. And scripts make me nervous. Calling my database makes my stomach turn. All of that. If you're feeling the same way, I feel the same way too. However, with these scripts, it is not going to feel like a script, because I don't know about with you, but I like to come to, with contribution every time I make a call.
Yep.
I don't want to be like, hey, do you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell real? Well, you know, that's not my jam. I like to have more of a relationship with my database. So it may take you a while to get through your alphabet, depending on how many you have in that particular week. But one of the first scripts is going to be so natural for you that you're going to love it. And Connie and I, so Connie, it is let me pull out the script that I wanted to use.
It's the first one, right?
Yeah, the 5-star script.
Yep. Yep,
Okay.
perfect.
Do you
Hi,
want to?
Janine. It's sure, I'll give it a start. So
Okay.
what you're going to do is start with your A's and your W's, and what we mean by your A's and your W's is by last name. So anybody with a last name of Anderson, just start at the top. Oh, I'm echoing. Sorry.
Wow.
Woo! You really don't want to hear a lot of me.
Oh, come on.
Is that better?
Keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hello, Janine. It's Connie from Keller Williams Realty. Thanks for taking my call. I was calling today to see if you could help me with a project that we're working on for our friends and clients. Obviously, as a real estate professional, I have clients moving to the area that are in need of all types of professional services and service providers that they left behind when they moved. So I was curious if you have a 5-star experience within the last few weeks of anyone that has provided service to you that you might suggest that we place in our directory of great service providers.
I do. I mean, I have a really good painter.
Oh my gosh, a painter would be amazing.
Right?
So we'll add your painter to the list. And you know what? Thank you for taking a moment to help me. And one particular area that people ask about this time of year is tax preparers or CPAs. If you have any of those that I could be introduced to.
Mine's retiring, so I don't even know who I have now. I have no idea.
That's a bummer because you know what? Once I find some, I'll pass them on to you. So, Janine, I thank you for your assistance with this project. And once it all comes together, I'll be sharing all of these findings with you. And as always, I really appreciate your referrals. And is there anyone in the neighborhood or at work that's considering buying or selling that we can help?
My neighbor has talked about moving or selling their house for the last couple of years. I don't know how serious they are, Connie, but
Okay.
I'll certainly give them your name.
That would be great. And who is your neighbor that's thinking about moving?
It's Joan and Dan Smith.
Awesome. Do you have their phone number?
I don't. I just see them in the yard.
Okay, wonderful. I can look them up and have a conversation with them because I would like to get you some great neighbors.
Perfect. I wouldn't
yeah.
mind. Okay.
Perfect. So you know what? Thank you for thinking about that. And is there anything else I can do for you?
Can you tell me how much the house sold across the street from me? I think it just closed a couple weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, yes. I am working on markets this afternoon and I will get back to you on that.
Okay.
Because you know what? It's always good to know what's going on in the neighborhood. We're all a little bit nosy, you know.
Absolutely. Me. Okay, well, awesome. Thank you, Connie. And I can't wait to see your list of 5-star professionals.
Wonderful. It was great to connect with you and you have an amazing week.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys, was that hard? No. Was that hard, Connie?
No, and I obviously didn't go word for word, but pretty darn close. Just because when people do respond, go off of it a little bit, but as Janine was saying, how about the house across the street? Keep in mind that you're on a mission and we need to stick to the script because we have time blocked off to make these calls. So I would love to get back to you. When you follow up, it's showing your responsibility and your love in your heart for them that you're getting back to them with the information.
Yeah.
So instead of taking the time right now to do that, I'm working on all that this afternoon. I would love to get back to you.
And that's the biggest mistake that I think everyone makes, including myself. I get wrapped up in that conversation, then everything shuts down, and then, you know, I've made 2 calls and I'm done. So no, you're just gonna go, whoop, I'll get that to you. Make sure you do, because you're gonna be calling these guys back in April.
Yep.
You're gonna be calling
So
person.
what does everybody have next to their computer right now? Throw it out there. A phone, a notebook. I have some grapes that are turning into raisins as I look at them, and my book that I write everything down. So because Janine just told me that her neighbor across the street, she would like to know the price of that house. If I don't write it down, knowing myself, because keep in mind, I'm going to talk to the rest of the A's today. if I don't write it down, I am totally going to forget about it. So as we were talking about some things, I'm writing down Janine's neighbor on 123 Main Street. Please do, please check out the sale and get back to her. So
Yep.
make yourself notes and come back to that later instead of getting sidetracked on everything.
So this was the #1 script for this week. There's also a refinance conversation that you can have with your A's and W's. And you guys need to, in the comment section, send us your emails and we will send you these scripts. So it's going to be for those who participate.
Mhm.
And I'm going to just read this one to you, Connie, about refinancing, because even if your client base, you didn't sell them the house, but they've lived, they've lived there for more than a year or two, you can call your database and talk to them about refinancing their home. So, hi, Connie, it's Janine with Keller Williams Realty. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Connie?
Did we lose you?
Oh. Well,
There you are.
I was thinking about you today and I thought I'd check in with you. How is everyone adapting to this stay-at-home business? And is everyone still working from home?
Yes.
They are, okay.
I've
Well-
never thought I had to be so close to my husband. It's great.
Well, is it easier than you thought it was gonna be or harder?
It's harder than I thought.
Yeah. Is it for both of you and your husband or harder for you?
Probably for both of us because we're not used to sharing space as much.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, what is something that you're surprised that you haven't missed during all of this?
That I haven't missed.
Yeah.
It's going to sound weird. Showering every day.
No, it doesn't sound weird at all. Oh my God. Well, I've been getting a lot of questions from our clients about, how this is impacting real estate. And honestly, part of the reason of my call today is to alert you to an opportunity and to let you know that I am here to help serve you in any way possible. And we all know the media, we're hearing is about COVID-19 right now, and that some important information really isn't getting out to the owners. There is an opportunity right now. It is the record low interest rates that has stimulated the economy. Right now, they're at their 60-year low. So
Oh, wow.
I was quoted 2.45% on a 15-year loan. So find out what that rate is. So this could be a really great time to refinance your home. And I've had some clients that are refinancing for the second time in 18 months because the rates are so low.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So do you have an interest rate, Connie, over 3%? Or an
Actually, we did just refinance.
You did. Okay.
Mhm.
What are your long-term plans for your home? Do you think you'll be there for another 2 to 3 years?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm literally just going through the script, you guys. Well, that's exciting. Of course, there are other ways that I can help you. Let me read this. Sorry. I'm going to just keep you updated on real estate opportunities and let you know about the market throughout the year. Connie, it was great catching up with you today. Any big DIY projects around the house that you're doing or plans for vacation?
Oh yes, we always have things going on.
I know you do. You're very busy. Is there anything that I can do for you?
No, we're good. But actually, you know what? Could you send me the name of your finance person just to see maybe we could refinance again to, get a better rate? If you say that you're at 2.65, that's a great rate.
Yep, absolutely. I will get that for you. And hey, thank you for taking my call. And I will get back to you on that finance guy, and I will be in touch with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I did not ask for business. Did you notice that? I did not ask for her business. I didn't ask for any referral, meaning I didn't ask if there was anyone that she knew. Not every single script, not every single time are you going to do that. You want to be leaned on for a source of information. You are the go-to person for financing, painters, all of that. You want to be the guy or the girl that your database is going to reach out to you for. So, I hadn't read through this whole script yet, so I'm sorry it was a little sloppy. I'm going to work on that because I'm going to lean in on building my 5-star experience book for my database, and that's what I'm going to attack for the week.
All right.
Anyone have any comments on either of those scripts?
Good question. Would it be wise or to send out the entire list once you create your preferred vendor list? Or would you just let them know that you have a great vendor list if they ever need someone? Let them know that you have a list, and that way it gives you more chance to interact with them.
Yeah, I think I would want them to contact me, but once I get my whole list compiled, now that's probably going to take 3 to 6 months, to be honest with you. Right? It's going to take a while. Then I might do something creative once I get that list complete. I don't know if I would hand it out to everybody and their mother, but I will definitely share it with them. But that will be another conversation.
Yep.
It's another way to touch your database. So hopefully when we make those phone calls back in April, we will have another script to share with them about, now that I have compiled this great list, is that something that you're interested in? Well, yeah. So we'll kind of move from there. But yes, I would host it. You want to come from contribution, for sure. Yeah. And the refinancing one is very interesting because it's a very direct question, but it's very direct in how long do you plan on staying in your house? So you'll find out, oh my gosh, you know what? We're thinking another, probably another 2 to 3 years. And then, we're going to downsize. 2 to 3 years can quickly turn into 1 year, and it can turn into 6 months. So, make sure you note that, and you're going to just keep them on your radar. And it's another call to say, I remember you said you were going to downsize. I know you're in the middle of refinancing. What does that look like? And then you just start asking questions. Is it going to be here locally? Or, again, you are going to get in their face and have conversations. So when they are going to sell, of course, they're going to call you. They're not going to call anybody else. You've been talking to them like 4 times a year, picking up the phone. So what if you call the number and there is a recording? What do you do? Do you leave a message?
Not the first time or the second time.
What does anybody else think?
I leave a message.
Yeah, I would leave a message.
So what they actually suggest is you're going to leave a message, but you're going to say, no need to call me back. I will catch you later. So then you can try again. No need to call me back. I will catch you later. I just wanted to talk to you about something. They may or may not call you, but just leave it that way, and then you can call them back again. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Adding value, consistency. So that's extremely important. So that's why we're going to do this together. calling 2 letters of the alphabet by last name each week. So this assures you that your database will be contacted every 13 weeks or 4 times a year, which is what the MREA standard is.
Yeah.
And then you're going to defeat the call bias. You're doing the database. So you're just making easy calls, and it establishes a system of who is going to be called for the rest of your career. It's so easy.
So
No,
this comes right back to schedules. Does everybody, I know we have quite a few newer people. Does everybody have a weekly schedule that they follow? Yes? No, kind of, maybe. Keep in mind that this is your job. A full-time job consists of at least 40 hours a week. So you should have a calendar and a schedule set up that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 9 until 11, you are making calls, making contacts, 11 to 12 working on your database. Give yourself lunch, put in date nights, do all of these things, and make sure that you have a schedule that you follow, because it's really, really easy to say, hey, I'm my own boss, and take off and go shopping or go golfing or do whatever you like to do. And for those of you who have something that you do on a regular basis, personally, keep in mind to put personal things in too, because when you get busy, it's very, very easy to work every single hour of the day. And then you're going to lose your personal life. So, if you work out, put in every single morning from 7 to 9 or 7 to 8:30 workout. Mark that off the calendar first, put in your Thursday night date night with your significant other, and then fill everything in. But consistency is key. And that's what you're finding with what Janine and I are talking about. Put that consistency on your calendar to make your calls and work on your marketing. Sorry, Janine.
and that is the most important thing in the world, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's my, I have everything scheduled down to when I'm going to get my nails done, which was yesterday at 3:00. When I'm going to, so I love doing this too. This is kind of part of my relational business versus transactional business. It's my shift of mindset. Is I block time to go and visit my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love it. And I think in the last couple of years, things just went so fast, and I was kind of like, I miss the relationships with my clients. So now I literally will call them up and say, hey, it's been about a year or two since I've actually talked to you or seen you. Is there, and I know with COVID, it's kind of weird, and they may not feel comfortable, but I'll say, I have something I just want to pop by and drop off. What does that look like for you? I can't tell you how many people love that, even if they're not my past client, even if I'm working kind of on them. And it might be just, like I brought some poinsettias to some people. I'll bring, a gift card or just like a little thing of cheap flour, whatever, but I want to see them.
Yeah.
So
the week before Christmas, I dropped off 24 bottles of wine to all my closings that I did this year. And, there was one in particular, boy, toward the end, he just turned ugly. Just a weird personality, just kind of in your face, kind of everything was all nice and happy and fine. And once it got toward the end, he says, well, this should be done and that should be done. And I said, well, we have to follow a contract. And, sometimes things can get a little bit edgy. Do you know when I stopped at his house with that bottle of wine, he gave me the biggest squeeze and had me come in and showed me the new flooring that they did and the new painting. And they were just so happy to share with everything. And honestly, when I pulled in the driveway, I was nervous because he was just, I don't want to say somebody who toward the end, I wouldn't be their friend, but just somebody who was really, really strong and he scared me a little bit, which is really weird for me because I have such a strong personality. And when I pulled in his driveway, I'm like, oh, should I really stop? Just stop. and go, you did it for everybody else. And if for some odd reason they find out that you delivered 23 bottles of wine and not went to them.
Yeah.
So like I said, I got the biggest hug and he just loves me. And he called about a warranty thing and he was really ugly on the phone. And I said, let me figure it out. I did take care of it, but he was ugly on the phone. I would like another word for it, but you guys know what I mean, right?
Yeah. He bites and then he licks. I have a lot of clients. You'll have a lot of clients like that.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I love that.
Oh yeah, I made it up. It's a Janineism, but and then after you talk to them,
Totally.
then they settle themselves down. So I'm totally aware of that personality. They're biters and then lickers.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah. Hopefully they lick. We don't want them to keep biting, but
I'm telling you, I was scared when I knocked on the door. I'm like, it's a really good bottle of red wine. And
yeah.
Look at the floors. Look what we did here. Look what we did there. And I'm like, okay, 2 weeks ago when I talked to you, you were a total ASS on the phone.
Right. So, and we also have to remember how they're living out in life now is how they're going to show up with you. So It's not necessarily you. It's how they're presenting themselves everywhere. So don't take it personally. Just remember that that's how they're showing up everywhere. And just roll it off. Roll it off.
Yep.
So which script do you guys feel more comfortable with? And there was a question on here. Should we have a list of vendors in place so we can recommend? No, that's not what this call is about. Unless you have someone that, if they're like at that moment saying, I need a painter, if you don't know of one, just say, you know what? They come and go so quickly. Let me find out who is the most reliable painter that people are using right now. So if you don't know, if you don't have that info, it's another reason to call them back. So you may want, if you're new, ask some of the agents, hey, who's your go-to painter or who's your go-to plumber? Kind of, or who are you using yourself, as a homeowner or whatever? Who are you using that you can recommend?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Connie.
In the comments here, L.A. Thomas, you don't have a picture and I don't know what L.A. is. Can you,
Oh, she's adorable. She's on our team.
Okay, perfect.
There she is.
Oh, I've seen you before. Okay, see, I'm terrible with names, so I have to see faces. Okay. Let's just kick into a little bit of therapy because this happens to everybody. You have in here that you have an ugly one now. You want to share? Can we help you? Because this is the hardest part about real estate, I swear.
Yeah, it's a buyer and he's just kind of particular about things. He wanted like a really late closing date, like in May.
Oh yeah.
I tried to let him know, that's a little far out, your pre-approvals until this date. And he kind of like, well, what are you trying to do? Like get your commission right away or something? And I was like, no. We're just trying to, I'm trying to let you know, like that's too far out for a date. And so just throughout the transaction, he's been kind of a little bit flip and like just has an attitude kind of.
Little attitude.
Ones that I have that are just like, understanding, or they'll ask me questions in a certain way, but he's kind of like he thinks he knows it all, or is trying to like test me on what I know or combat, what I'm saying.
So what I always do is I always think about these people and go, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for your husband or your wife. And I don't say that. I totally don't say that, but just think about that, because if they're that way to you, that's probably just their personality. And I've been talking to a lot of people from different parts of the country, and like the East Coasters. I'm going to pick on the East Coasters because they don't mean to be so forward and sound, let's just say mean. But that's just their way of talking about things. I mean, I was talking to somebody from Jersey. She says, yeah, my neighbor across the street pissed me off, so I beat her up in the street. I'm like, whoa, who does that? You're in a gated community,
Hey,
but
you're in Florida now. You have a lot of coasters.
Oh my gosh. But, just working with different people, they have those personalities. Please don't take it personally, and try and throw some facts in there. instead of just saying, my gosh, that's way too far out, just say, and you'll learn this by taking notes, and go to lunch with a lender and pick their brain, because with lending, they can only lock in for up to 60 days, depending on the program. So
Right.
it's not that you're trying to get your commission because we're in 5 months out.
Right.
That's 5 times 3, that's 150 days. And
Yeah.
we have to usually close, because a lock is good for 30, 45, or 60 days.
Okay.
And then it isn't coming from you, it's actually coming from the lender side,
Okay.
if that helps.
Yeah.
Same thing when you're dealing with people with inspections, and we'll get into inspections on another week because they're very, very touchy.
Yes, they are.
When we go by inspections, everything goes back to the contract. So go back to your facts, learn your contracts. And like I said, going out to a lender, when I found a lender when I first started, and I would pop in his office and go, oh, hey, wait, what is this? What is a 5-year? What does it mean when you can close or you can't close, and points? And he explained everything, and it was fabulous. So find a lender, and they actually have money to take you out to lunch too, so you get food out of it. So, you can go for lunch or coffee with a lender and really, really learn some things.
Okay.
And that'll totally help you.
Inspection later on, because I do have one about inspection too. It's with the same client too.
Yep.
I always remember too that, and it took me a long time to figure this out, is anger is usually fear-based.
Yes.
So when someone is extremely angry, they are fearful. So that really helps diffuse my response to someone if they're angry, because then I just remember, oh gosh, they're fearful. And how can I help them feel more comfortable and less fearful? Not angry, but fearful. And honestly, that does help.
Okay.
You need to be in charge of the transaction, and it's really hard when you have someone that is angry, really fearful.
Right.
So the hardest thing to do is, and for me, and I've been learning this as I go along, is I need to shut up and I need to listen to them.
And that's where my word calm falls right in.
Yeah. The worst
Instead of shooting back right away.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Pull your shoulders back, in through the nose, out through the mouth, listen, and move forward.
Okay.
Because the worst thing you can do, or we can do, is interrupt them while they're going off on their angry tangent. I have one right now. I don't interrupt. I bite my tongue. I really bite it because I want to say something that wouldn't be very nice.
Right.
So I just listen, and then I write down the facts, and it's not that I want to fight with them, but I'm going to say, okay, listen to what you said. And, this is what I think we should do.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll get into your inspection question at the end.
Okay.
So I have, and this is awesome because Bethany said my son is a painting contractor, and Bethany just shared James's information. So you guys can look at that. He has all sorts of contacts, including landscaping, roofing, carpenters too. So awesome. That is great. We need to share all of this because, especially if you're new, you may not have the resources or who to go to. That's going to empower you when someone does ask you.
And your buyers and sellers do ask you.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
When I buy this house, I want to paint it all. Or in order to sell it, I need to paint the walls. And it's really nice to have some hip pocket contractors. And even if you have used them before, if you can make a phone call and pull a couple of strings to get it done maybe a little sooner and get in the on their schedule because everybody's so backed up, it's nice.
So, reach out to your fellow agents and ask them, hey, who do you guys use for hardwood floors, or who do you use? And keep those in your notes, in your phone, in your contacts. So then you're going to have that information when you're talking to somebody. So this week it's Thursday, before next Thursday's class, you guys are going to be contacting your A's and your W's. I have everyone's email that has posted it, and we will send out the 5-star script and the refinancing script, and you can kind of choose which one is going to be best for you.
Mhm.
Next week, then we are going to come back and discuss what happened with those phone calls. Did you, you may not have gotten a lead, but it's movement. You're actually doing something, and it's going to be uncomfortable. I have my A's and W's, so I go in, my assistant literally prints out my A's and W's, because I started this week, and I am responsible to her by next Monday to give her all my notes so she can input them into command. So I have to do this. This is something, and I'm looking forward to it. I've done half of them. So I did the 5-star script to past clients, and you're going to find out too, very interesting, who your bird dogs are, and they may not be who you think they're going to be. Bird dogs meaning they want to help you. They want to give you leads, and you will be shocked of who those people might be. Might be your nasty clients that, they're referring you. So love on those people. I had a bird dog who finally said, you know what, Janine, I think I'm going to get my license and sell real estate. And I said, great. So this bird dog got his license. And then he's like, what the hello, Dolly, was I thinking? I don't have time for this. I'm in pharmaceutical sales and I have 2 kids and I can't do this. And I said, well, I know what you can do. You hang your license at the state, you refer business to me, and I will give you a referral on every single person. He is so motivated now to find business. He's sending me leads all the time because he's getting a piece of it.
And keep in mind that we have connections all over the world. If you are talking to somebody who is moving to Florida, I got a great realtor here in Florida. She's amazing. We bought a house sight unseen, and she handled everything for us. She was absolutely amazing in the Fort Myers area. If anybody needs, Diane White, she's awesome, out of the KW office here. But, when we're dealing with these things, you can refer to anybody in the country and get a 25% referral fee for doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
It is a really passive income that you guys need to be acutely aware of, because that's a nice 25% paycheck for you basically doing a whole lot of nothing. And the best thing to do is first ask Charlie, hey, do you know a team leader in whatever city? I had 2 referrals this week for a family member, one in Plano, Texas, and one in Scottsdale. I called the team leader on both of those, and I said, this is the personality that you're going to be dealing with. This is their situation. I would like to interview a couple agents before I send them over to my brother. It's really interesting, you guys, just with life in general. The Scottsdale team leader was so on it and so friendly and sent me the best agent. The Plano team leader, and there's several KW offices there, was not friendly. I have not heard back. Crazy. So
wow.
Follow up is really important. So it's a nice passive income. And if you have clients that are moving out of state, first thing I say is, I'll get you a great agent.
Yep.
And you set that up, and then you guys can keep it together and communicate within KW. So it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Sarah
has a comment here, Janine. She said, I have a condo listing in Shorewood since August. They insisted on pricing it at 409, way too high. They had an AO in October that fell through due to buyer financing, and now they're at a list price of 379. Still too high. What recommendation do you have for an unreasonable seller? It's not owner occupied and they won't stage. It's also outdated. Should we pull it off the market since it's been sitting so long, or do I do another price reduction? I'm trying to talk as little as possible so not to disturb my daughter.
Okay, so I guess my first question would be, I try to eliminate the seller's point of view when I am looking at the market, because honestly, it doesn't matter what their point of view is.
Yep.
The fact that it's empty, it's vacant, means there's no one living there. They should be getting motivated. And my best and favorite line is, the market determines the price, and I think we need to make an adjustment. And then it kind of takes it off of you, the agent. It's putting it on the market, and that's that. Staging does work. So even if you could get them to drop the price, and I don't know what the comps are in that building.
Well, I sold one in June for $390, but it was updated and it had its own set of issues. The thing with this is that you have to walk up a flight of stairs to get to the main level. And so it's it's on Edgewood between Oakland and Downer. So it's an awesome association.
Yeah.
It's a strong association, but these are the original owners. And they've never done a thing. And it's a great condo, great space. But I mean, they should have this thing listed at $349 tops. So they're just really, and I'm dealing with the husband, and the wife is puppeteering the whole thing behind the scenes, and I don't have access to her. So it's one of those situations.
Oh boy.
And so are they in town?
Yeah, they moved to Mequon to send their kid to Homestead, and thought maybe when she graduated, they'd move back there. And once they saw me selling the other one in June, they approached me and decided, no, they're never going to move back to this condo. Let's sell it. But then they got greedy because their neighbor listed theirs for $428, which they were never going to get. But their neighbors, I mean, was completely updated.
Right. So
I would do a price breakdown of improvements.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take that 428 and take off your $10,000 for counters, take off $20,000 for new cabinets. And I don't know how big the house is, but you know, try and get some prices. Even if you go on homedepot.com, you can do a quick kitchen design and it'll give you a number. It's not exactly, but
I had somebody go in there. Okay. I have some pricing there. It's so I am going to approach them with a new price. But what if they say to me, we're just going to pull it off. It's been too long.
So I would say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, when you pull it off the market, what are your plans with the condo? Because I will say to them, it's actually making me nervous that your condo is on the market and it's the best market we've ever had.
Yep.
And if it hasn't sold in this best market, then it is the price. So again, let's talk about the adjustments that we need to make so we can get your condo sold. And now is the perfect time to do a great price reduction because of the low inventory. And if you wait to do that reduction, even in a month or two, there's going to be more and more inventory on the market, more competition. Yep. So let's do the right thing now so you can actually net more by doing a nice price reduction, and let's get this sold. How does that sound to you?
Yeah. So, okay, that's awesome. And I'm going to use that. So, and what do I say? I mean, to this point, I've had some agents asking me, why is this sitting so long? And I've told them it was priced too high. You know, I've explained to them because it is a great location, great condo, awesome light coming through, but it does need updates. So I need a buyer who's willing to make it their own.
Right. And you know, and that's another conversation that you can add on to your, for a rebuttal is these buyers are educated. They're educated on their own, and they're also being represented by a buyer agent. So those agents are going to be pulling the data, just like I am seeing right now, of what has sold in your building. And they are going to then come up with a figure. And if it is priced too high, they are not going to make an offer. They just won't. It is a Midwestern thing. They just don't, they don't do that. So we need to get in the market. Right now we're on the market. We're not in the market. And there's a big difference.
Yeah. Okay.
So
thank you.
I would say, give me 60 days. Let's do a nice price reduction. Let's get you in the market and let's go from there.
Okay.
And offer, you know, say I'll do open houses, and I will call every agent that has, you know, seen your property and make sure that they have seen that there is a price reduction. Get them kind of excited and engaged in why they were going to sell it in the first place.
Yep.
And good luck with that. Follow up with us next week, Sarah, after you've had that conversation.
I will. Thanks, you guys.
You are the expert. You are the expert.
Yeah, I like the in the market versus on the market
Yeah.
idea. That's a really good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It works. It works. It gets them to think more business and less emotion. And that's really what we need to do. So they're acting emotionally, you need to come back with business. If they're all business and stats, then you need to come back to them with emotion. So then, you know, you can flip them over.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's good. Anybody else have anything going on?
So do we have everyone's 100% I'm in once these scripts are shared with you, that you are going to call your A's and W's with either the refinancing script or the 5-star script? Is everyone on board?
Yep.
Okay. You guys, we want to track this. Connie and I are going to do it. We want you to do it with us. You're not alone. I think we're going to have some great feedback. I know it.
Yep.
Have a purpose to call people, and neither one of them are, if I were to get a call from my past agent, let's say you're not in the business and, you know, real estate is not on their mind. It's on our mind all the time because that's our job, but that's not where their head's at. So if I got a phone call from my agent, or maybe my agent that I would feel like that's not a solicitation call whatsoever.
Yep.
That is a helpful call.
It's definitely a helpful call. You know, when you're calling and saying, do you know anybody who wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? It gets old, and it gives you anxiety because you're calling but you're calling to help them, and people like to be helped. Can you help me help somebody else? And that's basically what you're asking. And it's in the human soul to help people. And that's where we're getting at here.
Right.
Is to just, you know, help people, because people ask us literally all the time for the painter and the plumber and the HVAC guy. And it's really nice to have a list, and it's nice to have several people on the list because they do get so busy.
And when you're having these conversations, you're going to be, you know, write notes about what they're saying. Like if they mention their daughter's name, then you had no idea who they had a daughter or what the daughter, write all of that down, because then when you call them back, you're going to look at your notes and say, oh, you told me that, you know, Mary was studying for her LSAT. How did that go? I mean, this is a relational business. Really it is. And you want to be the one that they're going to think of. That's how people mess up, is They look at it transactionally only, and it isn't. And
Mhm.
you're going to have more fun and you're going to be more successful if you really think of it as a relationship that you're building.
Yep.
Plain and simple. You may not get the reward right away, but you will if you keep on it. And it's the fun part. Somebody had a question, let's see, about a home inspection, and it's LA. And we'll do at the end any questions that you guys have, and we will tell you there is no dumb question.
No,
I
there isn't.
have asked every dumb question in the world, and I don't really care what anyone thought of me because I didn't know anything. So who cares? Bring it on. Let's go.
So I had an inspection, came back that there was carbon monoxide detectors, and then there was a lock on the balcony door that didn't fall into place, and it was considered a defect. The sellers rejected both amendments, and the agent was kind of flip about it too, and she said, well, the sellers didn't have an issue with it, and they've dealt with it since they moved in, so your buyer shouldn't. So we're not gonna fix anything. And I said, well, that should have been disclosed on the commission report. I said it would have been nice to have it disclosed if they're aware of it.
Yep.
Just because your sellers didn't think it was a problem doesn't mean the new buyers that would be actually living there wouldn't, feel that that's an issue for them. And they rejected both of them. And I was in between doing a no effect and an amendment. And I let the buyers know the difference between the two and how the sellers, if we did a notice of defect, that it could just kind of end the whole sale. Like the sellers could say, we just don't want to do anything, and the deal would be done. And they wanted to go with an amendment, but they still rejected the second amendment we sent in. And so the buyers are still kind of nervous about it. I said we could go in together, they can look at it, because they weren't at the inspection. I was there, they were working. To try and kind of calm them, I said I'd take care of the CO detectors at I'll take care of that. We can get a handyman to come take a look, or else we could schedule a time for us to go and look at the lock, for ourselves. It just doesn't fall into place. But we just had some back and forth, even though it was listed on the inspection by the inspector that was a defect. Went back at me and said, well, we knew about it and we've dealt with it. So
Okay, so we're talking about CO detectors and a lock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lock to a balcony door. Mhm.
Okay, those are all such minor things. And I
Yeah.
would say to your buyers, are you willing to walk from this property because of CO detectors and a lock?
Right.
Those really aren't, a lock is defective, but
Mhm.
this is what I say when I work with a buyer. We are looking for major defects and safety hazards.
Right.
Roof, HVAC, and foundation, right? Those are the things that we are most concerned about. There's going to be a lot of piddly things that are going to show up for you on this inspection.
Especially in older houses.
Yes, there's
It's a condo. It's a condo too, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, so I would just go back to them and say, I don't think you guys are willing to lose this condominium over a lock and CO detectors, because honestly, something in another unit is probably going to be coming up more substantial, and this is minute.
Okay.
CO detectors are so cheap at Home Depot. Get a handyman, you guys, after you close, to get that lock looked at. Let's call it a day. Let's wrap it up.
Right.
So
Okay.
I think you almost have to be a little like, come on.
Yeah.
They need to
Yeah.
remove themselves from, they're so into it, and I gotta win, but they're winning.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Especially because there aren't any more available. This is in
Right.
Tulsa?
This condo, it's downtown on Milwaukee Street.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for a condo in Tulsa and there are none to be found.
Oh yeah, there's none.
So I would say there's a difference between a honey-do list and a defect, and we're
Okay.
looking at honey-do list right now. So
Okay.
guys, let's just, and if you can, maybe do a couple $100 in a closing cost credit from the seller to the buyer and call it a day and wrap it up.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
being ridiculous, in my
I
opinion.
know both the sellers and the buyers on this one are both like been kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, they can go and buy their own CO detectors as far as I mean, honestly, that's
Or it's
ridiculous.
a good closing gift.
Yeah, I said, I'll take care of it. You know, I'm not worried about that. It was the lot, and I think it was how the listing agent approached it too throughout the transaction as well. Didn't really make it. So as an agent, it's important to be kind or, you know, be understanding of
Yep.
people that are going to be purchasing, you know, because the condo's been on the market for like 193 days. So it's also like, do you want to sell it or, you know?
Right. Well, and not only that, and I was just reading Sarah's comment, you know, they have to disclose now that the CO, again, I don't know who the agent is on the other side, and you don't have to say it, but if I were that listing agent, I would be strong arming my seller and like, you
My
got
seller, yeah.
this is nuts. Put in your carbon monoxide detector and fix the lock.
Yeah.
Right. Or else, you know, my thing was like, if it was listed on the condition report, the lock, it didn't work when they moved in and they haven't had any issues with it, then
They should have disclosed that and they should have fixed it. But
Yeah.
again, I wouldn't get tied up. Those are just silly, minute. And if they think that's big, they don't know what big is.
Right. I know.
So I would try to put the kibosh on it and say, okay, guys, you know, this is
Really?
these are not really.
Yeah. It's where it is now. The Second Amendment was rejected, and so it's as is. And I said we're gonna go take a look at the lot so they can know it's really not that big of a deal, but I want them to see for themselves.
Right.
And CO detector's a closing gift. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There was an inspection. Okay. Yeah, Firefly is huge in Tosa. I met with the client for a listing appointment, and since Firefly is 5% and offers free staging if they want that too. Yes, I agree with you, Bridget. I was on a listing appointment and they even said that Firefly said if they bring the buyer to their own listing, they will do 4%. So
Wow.
This is my thing. I have stats to back this up that, you know, at least on our team, we get 98, almost 99% average list price to sale price. And I think that Firefly has this method of price, what they think is like pricing their house low so they're going to get multiple offers and it's going to push the price up. And that's kind of how they roll it out. But what if they would have priced it accordingly and then was able to bump it up even more? So I always show stats to support the price and the sold price. And sometimes you can't compete with that staging. You're going to have to be creative. I know they're strong, but what do you offer? What do you have to offer? You can stage a property. I mean, you may cut a deal with them and say, you know, I'll take it for 5.5% and I will cover the staging up to $2,000 or whatever it is. I don't know. You're going to have to be creative. I think sellers now too know that market is so tight that they're looking at, they can just list it with anybody and it's going to sell. Well, maybe, but are you getting the most that you possibly can for your house?
Yeah.
So I try to get them off that commission mentality to what are they going to net? How much more can I do for you? And how much more are you going to net from that transaction? Yep, they discount a lot.
Janine, where do you get those reports that you're talking about?
So our team, from our sales, we track everything, but Charlie runs those stats every week.
Yep, Charlie and Diana.
Charlie and Diana. So
Yep.
reach out.
Katie, all you have to do is ask Diana. She has them all.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Your
Thank you.
team
She can
leader-
pull them out from Broker Metrics.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's very, very helpful.
Yep.
I am going to be hosting an open house tonight, Saturday and Sunday. If anybody is interested in shadowing me, you can take my phone number, 414-617-9016. You are more than welcome to shadow me. Our open houses, we only let one party in at a time because of the COVID situation. So actually it's been very helpful because I feel like we can have relationships with
One-on-one.
these buyers that are coming in, and they feel like really special when they're the only ones in the house. Then you can trap them. No, I'm kidding.
Bridget has a question. She says her seller wants to offer a home warranty. Do I put that in private remarks of the MLS, or where does that go? There's actually a checkbox on MLS to check for a home warranty. And you can also write it in private remarks. I would do both, because when you check it off, I don't remember what page it's on, but when you're putting it into MLS, there is a checkbox for home warranty.
Yeah. And then we're going to get to your home warranty
Mhm.
story. Also, it was really interesting. I closed on a property last couple weeks ago. And as we're doing the final walkthrough, I had the buyer, the listing agent was there, and she said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I took out a home warranty on this property as a gift to my seller." And I said, "Awesome. That's great." Nothing was disclosed. Nothing was in MLS that there was a home warranty. So I immediately said, "Send me the information and the confirmation number and everything." So phone number, whatever warranty company that you purchase this from, so I can give it to my buyers. So, I mean, what a super waste if that agent never told us about it and she had taken out a warranty. So that's what I'm seeing too, is some agents are saying, "I will provide a warranty during this listing." Now, I don't know if I would go to that length. I would say if a warranty is asked for, and I wouldn't even say that up front. Let's say you're going back and forth and they're saying,
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this offer. They're asking for a home warranty. And it really comes down to, oh my God, they're going to walk from this transaction because they're asked to buy a warranty. Sometimes you can say, "You know what, I'll pick that up for you."
Yeah, I don't give away money.
I really try. I really don't.
I've decided that I'm high maintenance and I like to keep as much money as possible.
Right. Right.
So I don't cut commissions. I don't give things away. If it really comes down to it, then I will. But we work really hard, you guys. And when you go to the doctor, do you say, "Hey, can I have my appointment for $100 today?" No, because they're professional. They're doing a service. We're professionals. We are initiating service also. And our going rate is 6%.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, we're sharing that with the other agent. It's not that we're pocketing 6%. We're sharing that with the other agent. We're paying for our advertising. We're paying to have our signs put up. We're paying for our signs. We just paid $1,000 for your license and your GMAR. I mean, that has to come out of somewhere. We have operating expenses that we need to cover as a business. So it's not that we're pocketing all this money. So, I hate to say fight for your commission, but hold your commission strong to your heart.
Well, you know what I say when I sit down, they'll say, "Well, so-and-so said they're going to, they would list my house for 5%. And I'll say, "You know what makes me nervous about that is that they were so quick to cut their commission. How quickly are they not going to be working on your behalf?"
Yep.
I work really hard for you. And my goal is for you to net the maximum amount that you possibly can. And that's what's most important, right? Is your net proceeds. So I am going to work on your behalf to negotiate this offer and get you the highest proceeds that you can. And I know that's most important to you, correct? Great. I get them off that commission stuff. I want them to look at what is it that you want to net? I am going to get you there.
Yep.
It's not about the commission that I'm charging.
Yep.
And those who are going to cut that commission so quickly, are they really working for you? Or do you want someone that's 100% in, that has your best,
Interest in mind.
interest in mind, right? So get them off of the commission. What are
Yep.
you going to do for them? It's amazing just having, and then they see, oh my God, this person is a great negotiator. I want this person to work for me, because they don't know what happens in the back end. So give yourself some value. So Connie, you were going to say about your home warranty debacle?
So keep in mind when you guys are doing deals, try and be as efficient and organized as possible. So what I do is in my documents, I go by last name and I put everything for that deal in that document for their last name. And if they're an investor, then I go by address inside that. Then I take all the documents at the end of the year and I put it into 2020 closed. So I received a phone call 2 days ago from a buyer that I had the listing. And she said, hey, in my contract, it said that I have a 2-year home warranty. She said, so I called the home warranty company because I need some help with some things. She never said what. She says, and they told me that I only had a 1-year warranty.
Uh-oh.
So, with keeping with the word calm, I said, you know what? Let me look into this and I will get right back to you. And of course she said, well, when are you going to get back to me? I said, I will definitely get back to you this morning. It was, about 9 o'clock in the morning. I said, I will definitely get back to you this morning. I said, and let you know where I'm at with this. I said, I will definitely look into this. And honestly, it was September of 2019. I don't remember if I had breakfast this morning some days, I'm not going to remember a deal that was 30 deals ago,
Oh.
So I went into my 2019, found the last name, went in there, and I did find the receipt for the confirmation for the warranty, and the receipt was 1 year. So then I pulled up the listing contract and the offer to purchase, and they both had 2-year warranty on it. And I thought to myself, this isn't like you. So then I found the application that I sent into HMS, and on the application, it was a 2-year warranty. So I called the warranty company and they said, well, it's too bad because you only got the 1 year, blah, blah, blah. So then what I did is with HMS and with RWS, we have a contact person. So I called Karen, the contact person. I said, hey, Karen, I said, give me a call because I have a little conflict here and the buyer needs to use their warranty. I don't know for what, but I have my application that I sent in for the 2-year. So she looked into it and she said, well, I think it was a mistake on our side because you did ask for that. I said, it doesn't have to be right now, but it can be retro from the end of the warranty from September through September of 21. And she looked into it and said, it'll have to be paid for. And at that point in time, because it's over and done, and I called the buyer's agent, she said, I missed it too. I'll split it with you. So we're going to end up paying for this 1 year of warranty. But it took me like 4 phone calls to try and figure it out. And thank goodness I had that application that said, I did a 2-year. I applied for the 2-year. But when it came through on the closing document, and here's really important also, review those closing documents, it was only charged for a 1-year warranty. And I missed that. So we all make mistakes, including me and Janine.
Oh God, yeah.
But silly me, and a 2-year warranty isn't very normal. This is an old house that needed a lot of work. So the seller was offering a 2-year home warranty. So thank goodness I still had those records and I could prove it. So that's where we're at.
And talking about that 2-year warranty, I've had where you may not think you might need this information now, but you might later. And I pulled this out of the hat. It was a really questionable home inspection, and the HVAC, the furnace and the AC were super old. They were chugging along, but they were both at the end of its life, and the inspector noted that. And I was the listing agent. The buyers wanted a $5,000 credit for, potential cost on what they may need to replace. And the sellers are like, we priced this home accordingly because we knew that they were older. Of course, the buyers don't care. They are looking at what's in front of them now. So what we did is I went back to that buyer's agent and I said, you know what we'll do? You guys have already asked for a 1-year warranty, which we'll be more than happy to provide. We will actually do a 2-year warranty. So both of those components will be covered for 2 years.
Nice.
And I literally thought she'd say, go jump off a cliff. And she may have, I didn't hear it, but she did come back and say, yeah, we're good. We'll do that. So, and you will get notified if they have actually called in on that home warranty. And this particular situation, they did. Both their AC and their furnace were replaced.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one more question that I want to address. Hold on here. Okay.
Still on the warranty. Hang on, Janine. Still on the warranty. Beth said her buyer is buying a home. The seller is not providing a home warranty. So the buyer wants to purchase the home warranty. What you'll do is send in the application and it can be paid for at closing. So send in the application, get the warranty number, make sure that goes to the lender and their title to make sure that it's put on the policy and it can be paid at closing. Great question.
Very good question. Thoughts on binding acceptance, 24 hours or a couple of days?
Okay.
Do you do that? Heck, yeah. If we have a hot property, then, and there's pros and cons. We typically, like what I'll do is our listings go live on a Thursday, and I do a Thursday open house Thursday night from 4:30 to 6, and then Saturday and Sunday. And then I will put into MLS any and all offers to be presented to sellers Saturday at 4 p.m. So that kind of gets the momentum going, and it gives everyone that time to go into that property. Now, the caveat is this: what if you don't get an offer? Ding dong.
Okay, that happened.
Happens. It's going to happen. Then you quickly remove that out of MLS 4 o'clock on Sunday.
Yep.
And it's gone.
Yep.
But I like to do that. The 24 hours thing makes me nervous because I don't know if you're doing your sellers this service by not allowing everybody to have that opportunity to come through the house. What if that buyer's out of town or, whatever? I like to be selfish. For another reason is I want to have these open houses. And if they're not interested in that particular house, maybe I can pick up a buyer or a seller. But I also think that momentum of letting everyone come in is now, this is the thing. Let's say you put that into MLS, any and all offers to be presented Sunday at 4 o'clock, and you go live on Thursday and you get an offer. They saw any and all offers are going to be presented Sunday at 4, but you get an offer and they want a response by the end of the day. Can your sellers take that? Can they accept that offer? Yes, they can. It's your job to present the offer and they determine if they want to take it or not. Now, there might be some co-brokers that are going to be upset about that, but you do present the offer. So maybe it's just like absolutely ridiculous. All cash, no inspection, like perfect. they may say, you know what, we're not going to wait until Sunday at 4 o'clock. We're
Yep.
taking this offer. And there
Yep.
you have it. So, but I
Well,
always
and
do
at that time, anyone who has showing scheduled, make sure to call them and say, hey, I have a really strong offer. Can you get in earlier?
right.
You
Let
know.
everyone know. And you can go on showing time too when you guys do get an offer, and it will be an automatic. It will reach everyone. You can set it up. It will reach everyone that has shown the house,
Yep.
or it will reach people that are scheduled to show the house that you have an offer in hand. And it's just kind of a message. That we
It's an
like to-
email. It sends out as an email.
An email, yep.
And well, keep in mind, by taking everyone's offer and opening this up to keep it on the market for 3 days, you're actually doing due diligence for your seller, which is your job. Your job is to get the most looks and the highest offers possible.
Yeah, and I love Bridget's response. I'm scared to jinx it by putting it out there. Yeah. However, this is the situation that you might get into, Bridget, if you don't do this. Is you get that offer right away, and then your sellers are going to say to you, but it's our first offer. What if, what if we get something better over the weekend? So that's why I like to put it in there.
Yep.
Then you now have a calendar date with those sellers, regardless if you get an offer or not.
Yeah.
And they know that everyone had ample time to come in and look at this property. You have put it in delayed status up to 3 weeks. So it's not a surprise. That's why we like to do delayed. It's not a surprise that this property is coming out on the market. Put your listings in delayed. Put them in delayed. All right. So A&W, I have your emails. I will email out these 2 scripts, and we're going to start out next Thursday with what our results are.
Yep. Sounds good.
We can do it.
Yep.
And
Everybody get your list and get your phones rolling.
think of your 2 words for 2021.
I have a quick question before we leave.
Yeah.
I know you offered someone to shadow you for your open houses coming up,
Yeah.
and I've already done that. And it was
Yes,
great.
you have.
Yeah. My question is, and I know you and Connie have done many training videos and stuff like that. Is there anything out there on preparing for an open house and the steps that you take, such as, your flyers to doing the the market analysis to just the prepping of it?
Yes, we've had several classes on that. And you know what? We will add that on. Actually, Connie, we can add that on to next week after we do our feedback on our A&Ws.
Yep.
I know you do too, Connie. We can share each other's checklist of how we prepare for an open house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I really miss the in-person ability to show you how we do an open house. Once the pandemic is done, I love doing mock open houses at a vacant home and have the whole class come, and I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve. I have a script that I use. I have a red carpet that I bring, a runner, which sounds ridiculous, but it is hysterical, that if it's nice, I'll roll it out on the sidewalk up to the home. And that's one of my favorite things to do. It works. I did it once, and the day before, another agent had done an open house at that same listing, and the seller's like, hey, he did the open house yesterday and he didn't have a red carpet, and we just kind of laughed, and it sold. I mean, it was just kind of, people thought it was hysterical. I like to do some fun things too. So that's a great one. And we'll kind of dive into how we prepare for an open house.
Perfect.
And please text me if anybody wants to shadow me this weekend. I have a script that I use, and I have like certain things that I do to get a buyer and a seller. That's my goal, is to sell the house, but also I like to pick up a buyer and or a seller, one of each at every open house.
Bridget has a quick one here. She's popped it in twice. If you get an offer and it says they want you to respond by that night and the seller does not want to accept it, do you reject the offer or just not respond?
So, yeah, go ahead.
Is this something that you put on MLS that you were not going to respond by a certain date, Bridget?
It goes live Friday, so I'm just preparing for everything,
Okay.
wondering if there's anything I need to add into.
You're thinking way too hard. So if you have a time that you need to respond, and agents will call, some of them don't even call, they just send you an email with an offer to respond in 4 hours and you don't know about it, because that's always fabulous. I will call and say, hey, it's in MLS that we will be responding to offers by Sunday at 4. So if you would like to amend that, that would be great. Because the seller is out of town or they're not comfortable, whatever it might be.
Is this just a hot property? Is this something that you feel will go quickly? It is? Okay, I would definitely put in, and I think you should just try it, and you feel free to call me or Connie and I'll walk you off the ledge, because I do this with most of my sellers. I challenge you to put that into MLS and use that as your learning experience. And that aside, if I have a seller that they get an offer and they say, we don't want to respond to that, I'd say, oh no, we need to keep this live.
Yep.
We need to keep it live. We need to keep it plugged in, because if you don't, it's dead and you don't have anything and you may kick yourself. So let's at least respond. Let's counter. And then they can accept it or they can come back with something different. But let's keep them alive.
Yep.
Keep them alive. Keep the pulse.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Next week, A&W, we're going to go over that. And then we're going to talk about our checklist for open houses and how to prepare.
Sounds good.
So
Awesome.
you said
Thank you,
that-
everybody.
Oh, quick question. When you said that you'll keep that deal alive just to keep it going, and you'll counter it, are you just going to counter on the presenting date, or are you trying to keep it live another way?
I would go back to the seller and say, all right, you guys, what are your terms that you will agree to? And let's put that in writing and send it back. They can either accept it or reject it or counter it. So
Okay, gotcha.
Keep in mind, it might be your only offer. You want to keep that live until you get other offers in hand.
Yes.
Right.
And
Okay.
I always go back to, and it typically, not all the time, but typically, if you don't have a deadline of when you're accepting offers, typically that first offer is the best.
Yep.
They want to get it in first. It's going to be a strong offer. So more so than not, it's going to be your best offer. Usually.
Okay. Gotcha. So if they're giving them the price they're asking for, there's really no other reason than to put it off.
Right. They may think that someone's going to go over the asking price. So again, that's why I do like to put in a date and time of presenting that offer. So if you don't, what is it that they're looking for? What are they countering? What is it that they want?
Closing date.
Right. And I always say too, if they start to overthink this to sell, I'll say, you guys don't get piggy on this.
Yeah.
You may lose them. So let's really go back to what you want and what you're going to feel great about, and keep the blood flowing through this.
Gotcha.
Because it's really sad, and it's happened, that you're going to lose that great offer, and then it's going to sit there and they're going to wish they took it. So at least have that advice given, that that you had that conversation with them. right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome. You guys have a great week,
Have a great week.
and we'll see you next week.
Enjoy.
Call
All
your
right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.